Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a GW Panther Tier 7 German SPG. Located on the south spawn of Nordskar, it's under the command of a fingernail clipping, and he's got the improved rammer gun laying drive and a bouncy rotation device. Game on! Okay, well he's selected an unusual setting actually in terms of his shells. Not seen this combination before. 19 HE rounds and some extra HE with no stun. The enemy team doesn't have any light tanks, but they do have a pair of E25s, and so I expect that's probably what we're going to be seeing spotting in the centre. And in fact, yes, I'm absolutely right, because that's who appears straight away. Okay, so he's just got to try and tease the line over. It's a difficult shot because those E25s are on the other side of the hill, and it's a steep drop off the other side, and well, that makes it difficult to get the shell on target. Enemy Arty in this game is an M12. So he has a limited number of shells. We've got 30 shells, but he's got a lot less. Always seemed to me to be a bit unfortunate and a bit unfair as well that the M12 does not have as many rounds as the GW Panther. This has got a 15 centimeter howitzer. It's capable with standard HE of doing 600 alpha, 39 millimeters of pen, 7.2 meters on the burst radius, between 10 and 18 seconds of stun. And again, the shell falls short and actually hits the hill rather than hitting the score, which was directly the other side. It was perfectly lined up. There's no reason why that shell should have missed. I just think it's that hill is so steep the other side that it just makes it very difficult for you to get a shell on target. Now it goes long, and the E25 is completely missed. This must be very frustrating for a fingernail clipping, because he normally gets this bang on target. But this time round, yeah, as you can see, that steep drop off, I'm saying, is just the other side of that hill. It is kind of like a cliff. He's trying to tease the red line over the target. That was much closer. In fact, it landed alongside the E25 for 280. Now, some enemy tanks have actually turned up in the factory area. In fact, we didn't really contest the factory area, which is unfortunate. But the XM57 takes another hit for 204, and he's constantly changing position. Now, once they're out into that tank farm, it makes it very difficult to get shots on them because, of course, the tanks act as natural cover. He's trying to look for a target. He can't hit the XM, but he can hit this TS-54 and get some hit points off him. 14 hit points, but he got the stun assist, and that's earned him the communications expert. So now he's got 2.5% extra skills. Next target is a Viz 44-1. Rounds out. That was a good one. Yeah, 164. The shell landed right in front of him. Now, the GW Panther normally has a reload time of 25.89 seconds. And unfortunately, due to the mods not working at the moment, we can't tell you what his reload time is, but it must be fairly quick. 20 seconds, yes. You can only tell when the reload actually starts exactly how much it is. This T28 prototype is saying rather still because, of course, he's taking aim at one of our guys, but in doing so, he's making himself an easy target. Take a blind shot. He doesn't want to. He wants to take an actual shot. I think he missed out there. He could have fired. at that time. He's fired blind now. And, well, we don't know. We just don't know if that T-28 was there or not. Okay, that T-29 does not want to come out from behind the tanks. I think he's enjoying the cover. Meanwhile, the T-28 is now seen. He is not missing any hit points, so we didn't hit him the last time. But he is missing hit points now, but it's only a tiny amount. Our guys are doing a good job stopping these guys from moving, stopping the enemy from moving in on our cap area. It's mostly the Renegade, but the T-25-2 is doing a good job too. Now further over to the north here, this AMX M445 is trying to flank the enemy and get round behind them. He's also, as you can see here, looking for the enemy, found some. Oh, and the M445 went down. In fact, he was killed by the SU-130PM. We fired at the squall. Didn't get anything from that at all. Still no joy firing over to that side. The enemy are hiding as much as they can. And although it's fairly dangerous to actually move forward under this, we do have the protection of our teammates. I was saying under the cover, we're about to say under the cover of these undulations, these hills, these rises. There are a few enemy tanks that sort of like lined up in a row. Ah, now this might be interested. No, we do not get a shot on the 252U. He moved away. Right, in fact, actually, a fingernail clippings decided to move back towards the south end of the map. The scores are even at the moment, and so it's still anyone's game. Oh, our Renegade's taken a fair bit of damage. Got no shot on the Viz. So it looks like the enemy have lost a number of their heavy tanks in the factory area. They finally managed to get rid of them, but the Renegade is out the game. He has been taken out by the Viz 44-1. But there is the guy. Just popped up. And he's just gone. The IKV-90B got him from a long way away. There's their T-25-2. Difficult shot. You can do it. Line it up. That's it. And he decides not to shoot. Well, he was fairly lucky with that shot because it was aimed a little further back, but the squall actually did run into the shot, and he picked up 26 from the actual hit and 168 from stun assist. That squall is now one shot. Anyone lands a shell near him, it's probably going to be his end of his game. Okay, SU-130PMs, they're very good value in terms of firing at targets like that. If you get a direct hit, it can penetrate. He's loaded. Rounds out. In fact, he does get a direct hit. So we might have a penetration on that SU-130PM. We'll have to wait until the end of the game to see exactly if he did it. We're one down on the enemy at the moment. Our IKV's making a move to try and get into position so he can take out the T25 too, and he's done that. But there's also that squall in there. Unfortunately, from this position, it's not an easy shot. Fires the round in. And he does get him! He landed the shell near the guy, even though he couldn't get an accurate shot to land it on the target. He certainly managed to splash him. And yes, as we said, you know, any shell that lands near that guy is probably going to end his game. Now we're up on the enemy, but only by one tank. They've got 2 tank destroyers, an SU-130PM and a T-28 prototype, and they're Arty, and that's all. So we do have an advantage. Plus, of course, we do know where that SU-130PM was last seen. In fact, he's moved. Rounds out. Close to get some stun. Now we've got the T-28 prototype. This is where we really need the non-stun HE, but unfortunately our teammate went down. And this is going to be an HE round. And it hits him for 205. That gives the IKV a little chance to actually get some more damage with his 90mm. Because once the T-28 prototype was stunned, it would have slowed him down. In fact, he does get the kill. So that's made a difference. But now it's 2 versus 2. But our IKV is very badly wounded. And the SU-130PM, well, he's not. He's actually quite healthy. And I get the feeling that the fingernail clipping is setting up for a shotgun. He's waiting for that SU-130PM to come looking for him or to go towards the cap. And in fact, the SU-130PM went looking for the IKV. There he is. The IKV's backing away. See, he's trying to get into covers, moving. Now, where's that SU-130PM going to turn up? Is he going to try and outflank the guy? Sometimes you have to put yourself in the mind of the SU-130PM enemy and think, where would I go? And can I get a shot? And yes, it looks like he can get a shot. Rounds out. Oh, now, well, he stunned him, but he's still very healthy. And you can see that the M12 is also coming in to help. So maybe we can help the IKV by hitting that M12, but I think our IKV's about to go. He's being chased. That was the M12 trying to shotgun him. And, well, I think actually, a fingernail clipping's having a lot of difficulty from his current position because he's not able to get a solution. As you can see, the reticule's jumping all over the place. And I think that's from where he is located. He's right next door to a rock, and it's a high rock face, which is making it very, very uncomfortable. Every time he moves or changes the aim, it's actually altering the vehicle. And that's why the reticule's jumping about so much. Sometimes you pick the wrong spot to mount your defense, it can be awful. Rounds out. Yes, he got him. He got the SU-130PM, and now that means that it's just the M12 left on the enemy team. And you notice that now that he's moved, he's getting a solution, a proper solution. There's the M12. Oh no, look, it's an Arty versus Arty game. Rounds out. He gets some damage. 164. The M12 is headed this way. We're into the last minute. Clock's ticking. He's going to have to do a shotgun. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Okay, the M12 spotted. Can he get around on the guy? Dialing in where he thinks the guy will go. The M12 is hiding, so we're going to have to get closer. He's very reluctant to come out from behind the cover. And there he is! So we're going to come up over the top of him, I think. The M12 is more than likely going to make a mistake here. And we've got to tempt him to fire. He fires! And that's it! We've got the advantage. And even though we do take a hit when we fire, we still win the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for a fingernail clipping in the GW Panther. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 13 in that game. Didn't get any other medals, but he got a win 8 of 3,646, which is super Unicum standard. And I think he did penetrate a few of those enemy tanks. Not the M12, funnily enough. He actually got that through actual sheer HE rounds on the enemy, but I think he may have penetrated a few of the others. Actually, only one, the SU-130PM, with that blind shot he fired, actually got 854 in total, but that blind shot was definitely a penetrating shot, the one he fired in, and we had to wait and see if he actually did get him. In fact, he did get him. So let's have a look at the team score. Didn't get the highest damage. That went to the Renegade, the guy who was putting up a fight trying to stop the enemy from getting near our cap. He got 3,567 hit points of damage. Second highest was the SU-130PM on the enemy team. He got 2,570. And the third highest damage, well, that turned out to be their T28 prototype with 2,448. When it came to a fingernail clipping, he got 2,204 hit points. He was beaten by only 2 members of the enemy team. 2 members of his own team places him 5th on damage. When it came to kills, we can see that the IKV-90B got 5 kills in that game. He got a tank sniper. 3 kills went to the Renegade, to a fingernail clipping, and also to the SU-130PM and M12 on the enemy team. And 2 kills went to the Barask on our own team and the TS-54 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, we can see a fingernail clipping who won the game. The last player left alive got 1,172. Second place was the Renegade, 1,167, just behind him. And 1,097 went to the IKV-90B. So 3 players managed to get over 1,000 base, but it was a fingernail clipping who got the highest score. The Tiger P on our team got the cool-headed. The T25-2 got a Confederate. And no other medals actually earned. Let's have a look at detail. He fired 26 rounds, so still have 4 rounds left at the end of the game. He got 4 direct hits during the game, 1 penetration, the SU-130PM, 16 splashes, 2,204 hit points of damage, of which 2,018 were at more than 300 meters. He damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 3 of them, and did 1,127 hit points of stun assist off 10 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he actually made a loss on that game of 21,031 credits, and that's down to the resupply of the consumables, I'm afraid, and of course the ammunition. Excuse me. He also got 2,344 experience points out of the game as well, so it was positive, and it did last. Look at this, 15 minutes, 0 seconds. It went right down to the wire in terms of time. Yet another game we've had recently where it's been a 15-minute game, but he finished the guy off with a shotgun on the 15 minutes. So very well done about that. I hope you enjoyed this replay. Another nail biter right to the end. And for a fingernail clipping, a nail biter is exactly what you'd expect. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. And thank you for watching.